Let's go to Ben Margulies. He's a research fellow in the Department of Politics and International Studies at the University of Warwick, where he joins us from now.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Good. Tell us, it
Hello?
seems like it's a bit of a rubber stamp now, doesn't it, with Donald Trump? It's almost a coronation rather than the old way that conventions used to run, where they really did select the candidates.
Yes, this is true. Since the development of the primary system, you recall earlier in the year we had the series of primary and caucus elections. That system developed in the 1970s, and since then, the delegates have usually arrived at the convention bound to a specific candidate, and a specific candidate has always won a majority of the delegates beforehand. So in modern, or at least in recent times, the convention has primarily been a formality and sort of a stage for the party to showcase its policies and its leaders. It is it's essentially a formality, a decorative part of the American political system.
Now, of course, Ronald Reagan was a movie star, so the US are not unused to having stars of the screen, large and small, in their sights to lead the country. But Trump, are people warming to him as a presidential candidate and possibly president of the United States?
In a country as highly polarized as the United States, I mean, it's hard to say that he would ever have the sort of broad appeal that Ronald Reagan managed in the 1980s when he regularly won well over 50% of the vote. Trump's appeal is partly from his showmanship, from his entertainment background, but in large part it's because he's harnessed a specific message that resonates with primarily white voters, primarily middle and lower middle class voters who feel either threatened by external social forces or by social change, or feel left behind by globalization. So he has certainly a very strong appeal, and certainly an appeal partly based in show business. But it's also, and this is seen a lot in the coverage of the election, is a narrowly based appeal. It doesn't have, he appeals to a certain type of primarily white American voter and repels an equal, if not larger, number of other American voters.
So that's the broader electorate. What about within the Republican Party itself? Do you think at this convention that they are going to unite behind him, or is there still going to be some infighting behind the scenes?
Well, I mean, all political parties are very large coalitions, so there will always be infighting behind the scenes. The Republicans are going to go to great lengths to portray themselves as united at the convention because it's such a public, televised, exposed event. But it's telling that if you dig a little into the news coverage, quite a lot of leading Republican mainline figures, prominent senators, prominent governors, especially prominent Hispanic Republicans, are avoiding the convention, and that's very unusual. The convention is usually a gathering of almost all the major leaders in a political party, and a lot of very important Republicans aren't attending. So the party is not as united around Donald Trump as its public face will, as the convention publicity will attempt to portray it as being.
Well, Ben Margulies from Warwick University, thanks ever so much.